Lufthansa flight LH978 from Frankfurt to Dublin on Thursday the 27th of June 2019 on an Airbus A321 scheduled to depart at 9:55 with a flight time of 2 hours and 5 minutes. This is the last of 4 flights on my way from Wellington to Dublin. I'm pretty over flying by now, but I am looking forward to going business class on Lufthansa. 2 hours in business class, I'm not sure what that'll be like. Such a short hop on such a wee plane. It starts incredibly well in the Lufthansa lounge, with an excellent and much needed shower followed by yet another breakfast. And then a couple of hours of plane spotting, watching aircraft come and go. I couldn't see all the tail numbers, but where I could, I've tagged what I found. The lounge was really well set up. It had places where you could work, it had places where you could meet, and it had places where you could sit and look out over the apron and taxiway and see what was going on. You could even see the runways and see some of the takeoffs and landings. As a special bonus, I got to see my inbound aircraft taking off. There it is, on its second leg of its journey off to JFK. See you later, plane. There were no flights called in the lounge, and I wasn't exactly sure how far it was over to gate B26 to catch my plane, so I left the lounge a little bit early and headed over to the gate. Frankfurt's quite large, but it was only a 5-minute walk to my gate. When I got there, people were just milling around, so I had a little bit of time to have a look at the plane before we got on. There was an unusual thing I've never had to do before, where they pre-checked all your documents. I'm always wary that someone's out to steal my passport or identity, so I definitely didn't go first to do this. I held back a little bit and waited till a bunch of other people had done it. Seemed legit, so I did it too. For my efforts, I got a wee stamp and a squiggle on my boarding pass. When boarding was called, the same man who checked my documents then checked my stamp and squiggle. That seems slightly needlessly bureaucratic and didn't really add to the overall efficiency. Weird. Boarding was called about 15 minutes late. There were boarding pass scanners and automated little gates, which were quick and efficient and easy to use. And then we walked down towards the air bridges. There were 2 air bridges for this flight. Because I was sitting near the front of the plane, I used the forward air bridge. The crew were friendly and engaging. And then I had a brush with stardom.
Come on, I got the power, rhythm is
I get the power, really? You are one of those?
I am those.
You are, oh.
I've got the power!
Singing with a shoe.
Well, that was unexpected. It's so hard to break through in the arts. It's kind of cool that someone who had a hit a wee while ago can continue to survive off those royalties. Good on you, Snap.
Boarding completed?
We pushed back about 20 minutes late and we taxied for 14 minutes.
Fußliegen, wenn wir keine Fort. And we also have a pretty good startup time, which starts in 8 minutes from now. So we have to wait here another 8 minutes until we commence our pushback, and so we start our journey at 10:05. Flight time expected this morning is 1 hour 45 minutes, so nevertheless we expect an on-time arrival in Dublin. Weather is great, the entire routing, so you may also expect a nice day in Dublin, but I'll give you a further update on that later on in the air.
Required by law to observe all signs and follow the instructions from the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, now please switch off your laptops and stow them away in your hand luggage, and please switch all your electronic devices with transmission function either.
Frankfurt has 4 runways. We taxied from gate B26 of Terminal 1B down to runway 07C and we took off to the northeast. Frankfurt has just over 500,000 flights each year. That works out to 1,403 flights a day, or 1 flight every 61 seconds. That's super busy, and that means there's tons of aircraft to see on the ground. And we saw a few taking off as we taxied to our runway. we turned to the left immediately after takeoff, and then we did another left and a slight right, and tracked predominantly to the northwest. We flew around Belgium to the north, and then across southern England, and then north over the Irish Sea. The skies are clear almost the whole way, and I got some fantastic footage. But first, how was the food? This was my third breakfast of the day, and it was slightly difficult to stay totally objective. The first one, in Singapore business class, was outstanding. The second, in the Lufthansa Senator lounge, was very good. And this third one, well, how's it gonna measure up? Let's find out. We had muesli or granola, a croissant, and some cheese and grapes. The muesli, which I had with milk, was light, and I cannot overstate how delicious I thought it was. I give it an 8 out of 10. Oh, nice start, Lufthansa. The croissant had fantastic layering and wonderful structure on the inside. It wasn't quite as flaky as I like on the outside, but was still firm and delicious. With the butter and jam, it was absolutely outstanding. 9 out of 10, Lufthansa. Wow. For cold beverages, they had a full bar. I only had water, but I could have had anything. I mean, anything. There were a couple of suits behind me who started with champagne and ended with whiskey. Oh my goodness, I'm sure their day of meetings was going to go just great in Dublin after that. Full bar service, 8 out of 10. Good work, Lufthansa. I waited for my coffee to get into the cheese and fruit. The air hostess noticed my struggle with cheese and showed up with a wonderful wholemeal bun. Wonderful bun, wonderful cheese, wonderful service. That warrants an 8 out of 10. Nice one, Lufthansa. The coffee certainly wasn't an espresso, but it definitely wasn't instant. Pretty sure it was a plunger. It was good and strong. They gave me 2 milks and it needed both of them. It was so good I had a second cup. That's a 7 out of 10, Lufthansa. Nice. So how did that go? The muesli, which was fruity, light and delicious, got an 8. The bread, that wonderful and fantastic croissant, got a 9. Cold beverage, I had water but there was a full bar, that's totally an 8. Cheese and fruit was okay, but totally boosted by the bonus bun, 8 out of 10. And the hot beverage, that coffee you could stand a spoon up in, 7 out of 10. That's an average of 8, Lufthansa. Good breakfast. Thanks a lot. Onto the plane. This plane, D-AISR, an Airbus A321, took its first flight on the 18th of July 2009, making it almost exactly 10 years old when I took this flight. In fact, it was delivered to Lufthansa 10 years and 5 days ago. Happy birthday, plane. And Lufthansa has owned it ever since. It's configured with 26 business class and 166 standard economy seats, and I was seated in seat 2A, right up the front. So what does this CY205 mean? 166 plus 26 does not equal 205. But if you look at this overlay, you can see that the business class seats are economy width with the middle row blocked out. And if you add in those 13 blocked out seats, ta-da, 205. Huh, how about that? Having the middle seat blocked out certainly gives you more space, but it's no more comfortable than a standard economy seat. Although it did give me somewhere to put things while I was filming other things. Handy. And although the overheads were standard sized, having less people meant there was more space to put your things. And we were super lucky on this flight. Business class was half empty, so there was tons of space for your stuff. The seatback trays were slightly on the small side, but having access to 3 more than made up for that. The overhead panel had lights, air vents and call buttons. Nothing was broken, everything worked, and it was incredibly clean. So a 10-year-old plane that's incredibly tidy has been immaculately looked after and cared for, but this short-haul business class experience has been nothing like the long-haul experience I just came out of. Still, business class is definitely a step up from economy, and this plane is lovely. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Nice one, Lufthansa. To be honest, a comfier seat would have bumped that up. As we flew from Frankfurt to Dublin, we had some amazing views out the window of German towns and countryside, English towns and countryside, even Heathrow. Awesome! The mouth of the River Severn with the M4 and M48. Bay Cerfydyn on the Welsh coast. Then over the Irish coast just south of Bray, but I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Let's do the map. After crossing southern England, we turn to the north to go over the Irish Sea, and then to the west to cross the Irish coast. We take a left-hand turn, followed by a series of right-hand turns to come back into Dublin from the west. Some of the views from the semicircle over Ireland were pretty amazing, including, and excuse my pronunciation here, the Bahudabera Reservoir, and Liffey with the Wicklow Mountains in the background. Ireland's so pretty. This map of Dublin Airport is a little bit out of date. The runway at the north end is no longer in use, and there's a new terminal, Terminal 2. We landed on runway 10, approaching from the west, and we taxied over to Terminal 1. Okay, let's land.
gesamte Besatzung danken Ihnen, dass Sie heute auf diesem Lufthansa Nationaleinflug begrüßen zu dürfen. Journey. Thank you, goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.
I don't know if you were counting along at home, but that was 6 planes stacked up to take off behind us and 2 more that we went past before we turned off the runway. Busy little airport. 226,181 flights in 2019, that's 619 per day or 1 every 2.5 minutes. Busy. Especially when you think they can only use 1 runway at a time. We pulled up on the apron at gate 124 beside the Swissair A321, which had just come from Zurich and was just about to head back to Zurich. Our taxi had been only 4 minutes and we were 17 minutes late arriving at the gate.
Cabin crew, all doors and park. Ladies and gentlemen, our plane is parked on an apron position. You can disembark.
So here we are in Dublin. There was no air bridge, so we went down the stairs and walked across the apron. I managed to look back and get a couple of exterior shots of the plane, but after 37 hours of travelling, I was a little bit out of it. In fact, I wasn't quite sure what this woman was doing, but then she saved my life. Thank you, ground crew. The walk from here to customs and baggage claim felt like it took forever. We pulled up at gate 124 and then we had to walk along a seemingly endless corridor to the main terminal. Sometimes people just mistime their loose stops. Quick lady, run! Run! Thankfully there were plenty of these moving walkways, which greatly reduced the amount of walking. Travelators in American vernacular, because why have a short word when you can have a polysyllabic one? These customs timings were pretty spot on. I'm not an EU citizen and it took me about 25 minutes to get through. And then it was off to baggage claim where my bags were on belt 6. And joy of joys, 4 flights and 3 airlines later, my bag popped out onto the belt. Alright, now that's awesome. So with the spring in my step and my bag in my hand, I headed off to customs. There were 2 choices at customs. The red line was for people who knew they'd broken the rules, and the blue line was for people from the EU. I was neither. So I erred on the side of caution and went through the red line. And I went pretty much straight through. And then out through the red doors and into Ireland. Here I am. This is Ireland. This is what it looks like. And that's it. Flight LH978 from Frankfurt to Dublin is finished. We're done. So I'll sum up as I walk over to the rental car counter. The breakfast, which was all around very good, got an 8 out of 10. Starting to feel like that was a little bit mean because it was really good. And the plane also got an 8 out of 10, which could have been a bit more if it had a comfier seat. So the average, and this isn't rocket science here, is 8 out of 10. It's a super solid effort, Lufthansa. Well done. Good work. Hooray! Please subscribe and watch every single video we ever make.